Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I'm Sean and this is In The Mixer as we continue episode 78 of our FC Isle of Man series. The season in Championship football continues. It's been up, it's been down, it's been all around. We've got a massive fixture against Blackburn today where we kind of need to recapture a bit of form. I'll go through our results in a moment. And then we've got probably our biggest tie of the series so far. We play Bournemouth in the FA Cup and I would love to have a little bit of a cup run, a bit of magic of the cup, get through, get the extra finances that come through with that. I've just hit my microphone, so we're already off to a sterling start in this episode. Weirdly enough, I'm recording this one back to back with the most previous episode because I'm busy tomorrow, which if you watch that one, I wasn't exactly in top form as a presenter, so I'm really interested to see what I'm actually going to do in this episode. Anything could happen. Right, so as we jump into the game here, we'll go through first our previous results. We of course played Bristol City and Swansea in the last episode. We were on fantastic form before that, including our most recent FA Cup wins against Ipswich and Burnley, bringing us to the point in today's episode. After that loss, we then played Reading, who at the time were top of the division. They beat us 2-1. We were 2-0 down at halftime. We actually fought back quite well. Franz Wolf with an excellent goal from distance. And we did really push in the second half. Our subs all did well when they came on. We really got back into the game. And then Sean Wademan got sent off in injury time for no reason. A straight red card for a violent challenge, in the bottom corner of the screen. It was just the weirdest thing that I think I've seen in a while. We did turn it around a little bit. We got a 0-0 draw against Wigan, but Wigan are very poor. I think they're 21st in the division. We should be beating teams like that, especially if we want to stay in the league. And then I thought we might have turned it around with a 3-0 victory against Brentford. Brentford are a very good team. They did have a man sent off. They went down to 10 men. We were already a goal up at that stage. And then we got 2 goals, one through Scott Welsh from a corner and Chris Granger with a wonderful free kick in injury time to seal the points. But since then, it's been a struggle. Barnsley beat us 4-1. It was the return of the Sheriff. We did have him on loan for the majority of the season. He played against us. He did concede. He kind of chipped in a goal for us. So he was still on our side a little bit. But his team was the winner in that match, which was quite frustrating. Following on from that, we lost 2-0 to Luton, which pushed them up into the promotion spot. So there is definitely a gap starting to build within the division. And then last time out, we lost 1-0 to Ipswich. We were very good in the first half. We had a goal disallowed early on, but then in the second half, they just went to another gear and we weren't able to match it with them. We are struggling for form. We're struggling for fitness. And I think the big lesson learned is that we maybe took the overall value of the squad or the overall depth of the squad and reduced it too much in January. We should hold on to those players in January and keep them till at least the end of the season, which we will try and do for next year. What we were attempting to do was bring in Graciano, bring in De Vargas, give ourselves some additional depth. But in reality, I think we've taken the overall quality and depth in the squad and kind of reduced it a little bit. Lesson learned, we'll chalk that up, we'll figure it out again for next season, but what we do need to do is start to put a decent run of results together. What I have done in that previous period, even though we haven't gotten good results, is I've gone attacking all the way through. I thought if we're going to go down, we're going to at least go down trying to play good football, trying to score and trying to find the back of the net. We're going to continue that to the game against Blackburn, just in case Bournemouth is actually scouting us. I don't know if this actually works, but if Bournemouth are scouting us as the next opposition, we're going to go attacking in this game. They'll think that we're going to come out and play a little bit more, and then we're going to switch to our positive mentality for the FA Cup game, put a little bit more focus on the cup competition, play a little bit deeper and hopefully get a decent result. We've done it so far against Ipswich and Burnley. I'm hopeful we can carry it on again in this episode. Can't get too far ahead of ourselves though. We've got the game against Blackburn today. We might as well take you guys all the way through it. This looks like it would be kind of a kick clash. They're very light blue, is very white, but they are in inconsistent form. We're in poor form on the back of 3 straight defeats. They're 6-4 favourites, which makes sense. João Pedro, who looks to be a fairly decent right back option, is out suspended. That'll help us a little bit. David Fiorentini, who they've got on loan from AC Milan at the moment, a striker. He looks fairly solid, but hasn't played that much for them, to be honest. He's out for this one as well with sprained knee ligaments. Hopefully, that will kind of derail the team a little bit. We are going with Vizcanyan in goal. I'm just going to keep persevering with him. He's up 2-star roll ability, which is fine. And I think that's where we're kind of dying a little bit at the moment. Everyone's playing in their preferred roles in the back line, but most of them are 2-star, 2.5-star, whatever else. That's definitely going to be a key area for improvement. And unfortunately, we just don't have the depth to bring additional players on. Taylor's maybe a step in the right direction, but Greisinger hasn't been bad over the last 5 games. So it's hard to kind of pick and choose where we reward players, where we take risks, where we don't. I'm going to stick with the lineup that I had. Morris is playing at left back because Preston Kelly is just cracking the shits about me reducing his contract. You'd think a guy with a 6.68 average rating for the entire season would be a little bit more humble in terms of his expectations on playing ability. But that's where we're at. Wright will play at right back, even though he's being a pain in the ass. He's unhappy at the moment because he wants a new contract. I'm not getting him one. He's going to leave at the end of the season. I made that mind up probably about 6 months ago. Dorber will continue on the right-hand side. He's still got really good high potential and still only 19 years of age. So I want to try and give him the time, focus on some of our players that we've got that still have high potential ability, which is why he'll continue to get a run in the side. Though Ricky Dean has been a more than capable backup option throughout the course of the season. Riali's currently playing on the left. We've still got an injury to Rafinha here. You can see he's out for another 5 days to 3 weeks, but that's fine. Riali can have the time as well. We've got him signed on for next season, so it should be fine. Looks like De Vargas is no longer able to play as an attacking deep line forward, so we'll move into that support role, and we'll make that adjustment across each of our tactics that we see here in case I change something in game. And Doran, of course, leading the line up top, 24 goals for the season. They have dried up a little bit in the second half of the year. If you think back, he was pretty close to 20 goals when we ticked over into the 1st of January, but they've still been really valuable keeping us in the division. It's sad that he will be leaving at the end of the season, heading back to Chelsea. We just can't afford him. And even if we could get a transfer bid accepted, his wages are ridiculous. He's on like 21k a week. And I think our highest earner at the moment is the Wolf, who has signed a new deal, which is great, on 5k. And that's really maxing out what we can offer to an individual player. Other than that, though, strong bench. We've got a good versatility. We can replace every position if anything goes wrong. But in reality, like, we're still continuing that search for 6 points in an episode at a championship level. I know we've moved up a division and it's very tough, but it would be great if we could actually get that monkey off our back before we go into next season. Passionately, I'm going to say we owe Blackburn after what happened in our last match. We, of course, beat Blackburn in the FA Cup last season, and they've got largely the same in the squad. Arvin Appiah gave us a few issues last time. They've still got Karamoko Dembele. They've got Quello on the other wing, who's a good player as well. I'm not sure why we've regressed as a team, seemingly. Appiah with the ball here, he's the one that did the damage last time we played, and he's just wriggled past 2 defenders and then screwed a shot beyond the far post. So I don't know if that's to do with our attacking structure, the defenders not being able to just stand up a man, but we'll see how that plays out as the as the first half continues. Throw in here, deep in our own half, Wright's going to take it. It's cleared by Thompson, and they're 2v3 here, and Appiah's just turned away from Welch and cut inside. Thankfully, his shooting boots are not seemingly on today. Listeners have said that, because now I lean into the microphone, realising Sports Interact is probably listening. He'll probably smash one top corner from 45 yards. De Vargas, deep free kick here. Hangs it towards backstick. Dorber's there and he's clipped the crossbar. We've got to finish those chances, boys. We're not doing well enough in the league to be throwing away clear chances like that. I'm going to use our demand more shout. It's not worked particularly well. We do have a corner though. Wademan, top of the box. Can he get the strike away? No, Quello wins the ball back. Morris should recover possession for us. He goes all the way back to Vizcanyan when we had a 2v1 on the left-hand side. Out now to right. Can we work an opportunity here? Or are we going to cough up possession in a weird area? The Wolf has the ball, and usually when the Wolf has the ball, we're in a safe spot. He's played a great ball to Doran, and all he had to do was go near post. Instead, he looked to go around the keeper, and it's a wonderful save from Raya. We don't even get to see the corner. Dewsbury Hall with a free kick for Blackburn here. 39 minutes played. It's a good effort. Vizcanyan does well. Gets across and pushes that one out. Resulting corner now to be taken by the left back, Thompson. They've left us 2v2 here at the back. If we can make this counter-attack work. Rowley comes forward now. Left-hand side. Get your head up, please. Instead, he gets tackled by Goody and the opportunity is wasted. If you had to play a square pass there, we had a couple of midfielders that were working pretty hard to join him in that attack. We're through 1 minute of injury time now and the referee calls half-time. So we've had 7 shots, 4 on target, 54% possession. They've had 7, 3 and 46. And I don't know if it's just my mentality being a little bit wrong, but they've looked a bit more dangerous in the highlights they've had. Passionately, I'm going to say I know we're underdogs here, but let's go on and give the fans a performance to cheer for. It hasn't worked particularly well, so let's assertively tell everyone you weren't that bad, but you can still improve, just to try and give everyone a little bit of a boost. And it's worked for most of the players. Scott Welsh being on a yellow card and really struggling for our fitness at this point in the season is really our only concern going into the second half. Through and out now, we've got a highlight right to take. Plays it to the Wolf, who loses out on possession. Welsh should recover it for him, though. Oh, he's in a bad spot. He clears it into the middle area. Wademan's clicked it on for Doran, and he can't find the finish. He's our best finisher in the squad, and for whatever reason today, Raya just seems to have his number. Usually you'd back him from 6 yards and out to find the finish and get it beyond the keeper. It's a poor ball in and a clearance to Appiah on halfway. Just stand him up, boys. Oh, it's actually not a terrible challenge from Wright just to give away the free kick on the side there, because if he had gotten past, we might have been in some trouble. We're through the hour mark now. Let's let this highlight play out before we make our subs. If they get a corner, I'll hold off again. They found Appiah in behind, wide area, and he's found the finish. Thankfully, it's going to be chalked off for an offside. As far as match ratings go, Dorber struggled a little bit. We'll bring on Ricky Dean. Rowley struggled a little bit. We haven't got a left midfielder on the bench. Morris is playing poorly, so let's bring on Preston Kelly and move him to be a wing-back on defend. And Doran struggling again. Oh, he's not. He's on a 6.7. I'm going to make the sub and bring on Ramsey, who's not played really much in the last month. Trying to get De Vargas to hit the most of his potential, given that we do have him permanently next season. There's a ball in here. It's pinballing around from the corner, and somehow Karamoko Dembele has worked it pretty much through and walked it into the back of the net. Preston Kelly has missed his interception and made to pay for it. So why do I bring him on consistently? I should put him in the under-23s. Well, Preston Kelly or the Wolf. I'm not sure actually who they were talking about. Oh no, it's their Wolf, Mariah's Wolf. So I'm guessing it was Preston Kelly who could have had the ball and then gives away a cheap goal. It looked like we gave away a foul there, but the Wolf, for them, is coming forward, plays it out left to McAtee. He takes a great touch around the defender, and thankfully his strike doesn't look for the corners. Vizcanyan makes himself big, forces it out for the corner. Can't use a shout, so Thompson's going to take this corner. Welsh with the flick on, and Pyre's got the ball at the top of the box. Good tackle from Waterman, and he can't quite keep the ball in as the highlight comes to an end. We're getting into the last 10 minutes now. We're going to use our demand more shout, and it looked like there was going to be a highlight there for a second, but the shout has gotten rid of it, I think. We dropped down to 19th spot. Derby are in 20th. Wigan, thankfully, in the relegation spots are still 4 points behind, so we're not quite getting dragged into that one. And if we are getting dragged into relegation battles, it'll be kicking and screaming. The game's come to an end while I've just been chatting. 13 shots, 7 on target, 53% possession. 13 shots, 8 on target, 47%. God damn it, Preston Kelly. Assertively, I'm going to say unlucky, boys, and everyone seems to have responded positively to it, but Blackburn is 16th. Like, that's a game at home we need to be winning if we want to stay in this division. FC, oh man, boss, I'm willing to experiment. Are you kidding? I played 3 separate formations so far this season. I played a 4-3-3, a 4-4-1-1, and now a 4-4-2. And people are dumb. All right, let's not do that. If they're putting that in the news, clearly the game is of the opinion that we're not changing tactics enough or something to that effect. Let's get through the game against Bournemouth. I don't want to change anything there. We'll go with our positive structure. We'll continue as planned. But if we don't get a good result against Bournemouth, if we're not kind of, validated in that respect, maybe it is time to actually make a change and have a look at going back to a 4-4-1-1 to finish the season and just trying to get our best players, our best current players, not potential players, on the park for the last 10 games or so. What are we going to do with our subs here? Preston Kelly is not going to play again this season, I'm pretty sure. So Ricky Dean can go on the bench. I think because it's FA Cup, I can put 2 goalkeepers in. So Donkin will jump in. And you know what? Donkin's got a better average rating for the season and he's in decent form. We might actually give him an opportunity in the team for this game. And we'll see how he goes. If he gets a good match rating, there's no reason he can't get an extended run inside. Is he signed on for next season as well? No, his contract's up, but that's fine. That's not the worst thing in the world. We're also going to utilise rest days. Scott Welsh really struggling for fitness, so I'm going to give him 2 days off, and everybody else that just started, we're going to give them 1 day. All right, here we go. Last chance saloon really for the 4-4-2. Magic of editing. Let's jump forward to the big game against Bournemouth now. So just like that, we're a couple of days ahead. There's one thing that I've got to show you guys because I wasn't aware of it in the build-up until we got to the press conference. Bournemouth, just casually managed by Zinedine Zidane. So let's check out his career progression and what he's been doing as a manager. So he, of course, starts the game as Real Madrid manager. Then he's been the Juve manager. I need to put that name fix in before we get to the Champions League. Then he managed France and won the World Cup in 2026. Then resigned a year later. Then he was Sevilla manager for a season before he got sacked. Then he was Bournemouth manager, where he's still in his first season. Absolutely crazy. I've never played against Zizou before. I've never coached against Zizou before. We're going to see how we get on in this one. Pretty sure they're going to be a relatively good attacking side. We did kind of do a little bit of a preview in last episode, but Tuanzebe, they've signed from Man United, who's obviously fantastic. Chris Mepham is their captain and their star player so far for the season. Angelino from Man City, they've signed. He's their leading assist maker. Hadaran is a player that's picked up from, is it Milan or PSV at the side of the save? I'm guessing it might be PSV because it's the 2021 instead of 2020, but Milan, it looks like they picked him up right at the start of the save. He looks to be very high quality. Their leading scorer for the season. João Pedro, they've got playing up front, is an absolute beast. Frank Kessie, they've picked up from AC Milan. He's 32 years of age now, but he's an actual wonderful player. Proper box-to-box midfielder or deep line playmaker if you can get one. And they've got a good few regens in here, which are always a bit of an unknown. You can never tell how they're going to go. We're, of course, going with Donkin in goal, Griesinger and Welch as the central defensive partnership, Morris and Wright as the fullbacks, Dorbett and Rowley on the wings, Wademan and Wolf in the middle, and De Vargas and Doran up top. Let's go with calmly, let's say. We've got nothing to lose here. We know how good we are. Let's calmly tell everybody that I've got faith in them. Let's just keep coddling everybody all the way through to hopefully a good result. Our bad luck has to end somewhere. Lewis Wright, where's the captain's armband? De Vargas hasn't scored in a while. I wasn't quite aware of that. Hiziel, we're going to find out. And really, they could run up the score here. It could be horrific. We've had a great cup run just to get through to the 5th round. Got a corner here, though. It's headed away. It's going to come back out to Wademan if we can work a good possession here. Sends it into the corner for Dorber to chase. Can he get the ball back across? He's nearly got it past Angelino. Goes front stick towards De Vargas, who hits the crossbar, nearly close to breaking his duck there. João Pedro on the counter-attack here. Oh, this might have been a bit of a red herring. Oh, thankfully, the highlight comes to an end. Long ball forward towards Doran. Actually, he's managed to get past Errington and skips past one challenge. Are we going to get a penalty here? someone's been sent off and there's no follow-up highlight. So they've gone down to 10 men. Arrington for a professional foul, but was it outside the box? Was it inside the box? Was there a free kick given? I don't know. I'm lost for words. We've got possession here though. The Wolf works it to Welsh. Over the top for Doran. Can he find the finish? Oh, it's a good strike and a good save. It's actually pulled back for offside. So now we're playing against 10 men, which is going to make it very interesting for the next 75 minutes. And it's going to do nothing for the comment section when I eventually get to the end, having lost 3-0. Throw in here left-hand side. Morris to take. Finds Doran. Square ball to Rowley. Tries to hang one back stick. There was no one in there. I'm not sure what he was trying. Angelino with the long ball forward. Welsh with a great header. Great header. So good. I've developed some sort of lisp. Dorba, square ball to Wolf at the top of the box. Can he get the strike away? Finds Doran, who tries to play it to DeVargas, but I think he was in an offside position and it eventually squirms out for a goal kick. Alright, I've got 10 minutes remaining. Let's let this corner play out before I say anything. João Pedro to Rebar. It's back to Kessie. Just stand him up, boys. Don't need to overcommit. Just keep the line deep. Keep our numbers advantage in defence. Ball over the box for Hiziel, who they spoke about in the build-up as being a very good player. 6 goals this season for him. And to be fair, quite a good finish. Belgian right winger, he looks fairly solid. A Belgian right winger trained in Brazil. That's not one that you see every day, but that's fine. I've seen weird things happen in a Football Manager save. We're going to demand more now that we're a goal down. A goal down and playing against 10 men. It's a good ball over that side there. We're really struggling at the fullback positions this season. It's been a real point of contention. I think our best options are currently 2-star in their preferred role. It's definitely an area that we're going to have to look to try and improve on next season. Angelino, wide free kick towards Chris Meffin, and they've gone 2-0 up. We're 2-0 down to 10 men inside the first 40 minutes. So what do we do in the second half? I can definitely pull the hairdryer out, but I think I'm going to stay on positive. I think we need to get a run of form into the team, just in a consistent mentality rather than chopping and changing too much. And I think what this means is we're going to spend the next month back at the 4-4-1-1 just to see how we go. Overload our midfield numbers, play a little bit deeper, just play for draws to stay in the division. If we lose too many, or like teams behind us like Wigan and whoever else go on a bit of a run, we might very easily get drawn back in to the relegation scrap. We've got possession here though, and we're not shying away from trying to keep it. The Wolf plays across to Wademan. We've got 2v1 on the left. Grayson sends it out to Rowley now. Skips inside one. We could have played Doran there. Instead he goes himself. If you've got a leading scorer that scored 25 goals for you, why wouldn't you give him the ball in the box? 2 minutes to be added on here. We've got one last throw in. It should be the last highlight. We played it to Rowley on the left-hand side. The cross is poor and closed down by the defence. Morris should reset through the Wolf, who uses the ball well, gives it to Doran. That's exactly what we need him to do. And he beats a couple of men and then forces a good save out of the keeper. We're going to have one last corner here. If we can wrap our foot around it, it'll be Dorba to take. Go short to Rowley. Then he plays it back to Dorba, who's ruled out for offside. I have to change our corner routines. I've got a checklist of stuff now that I've got to sort out between now and the next episode. So at halftime, 2-0 down, 6 shots, 6 on target for Bournemouth. Very efficient. 38% possession. They're fine not for us to have the ball. We've had 5 shots, 1 on target, and 62% possession. Aggressive, I'm going to say that was absolutely terrible. And it hasn't been terrible, but we are playing against 10 men. We should be doing better. Welsh with a great header there. 5th goal of the season. We've got a response out of him, which is great. And a wonderful assist from Hernandez de Vargas, who's taken over pretty much every set-piece duty since he arrived at the club. Still can't score, but does quite well. It's a good header from Welsh over the keeper and into the far corner. And maybe that's a glimmer of hope. Maybe there's a fight back here. Wademan with a free kick from distance. Not a bad effort. Paulo Eduardo pushes it out for the corner. So definitely signs of life here early in the second half. We've got a corner routine now. Rowley to take. Whip it in. Goes to Dorba. Back to Rowley, who is onside this time. They've left a man on the post, but we can't work across in. You've got 2 players versus 1. How do we not work a ball into the box at some point? Or at least a strike, or at least something. Right with the throw in. Finds the Wolf. Right, now with the ball. Reverse pass towards the Wolf. Good switch out towards Wademan, who's got time. He could have brought that one down. No one gave him a shout, and he tried to head it back across the goal and just past the far post. We're through the hour mark now. Do we go for this a little bit? Doran struggled, but I'm going to leave him out there. Morris has not had a great game. Wright hasn't had a good game, but because I'm an idiot, I didn't put any fullbacks on the bench. Griesinko hasn't had a great game. Let's bring on Taylor to play as a central defender on defend. How's De Vargas played? He's got an assist, but he hasn't done really well. Let's test this out, right? Let's take De Vargas out of the equation. Let's bring on Ramsey, and let's play him as an advanced playmaker on attack. Let's also bring on Tyrone Taylor and play him in his preferred role. 2 subs, half an hour remaining. I'm going to hold on to that last one for the last 10 minutes or so. Let's see how we go here if we just make those 2 changes and also use our Get Creative shout. Most players have responded positively to it. We have come back into it, statistically speaking. We had possession the entire time, but we've at least had a few shots, gotten a few more on target. They're still ruthlessly efficient. 7 shots, 7 on target. And we are rocketing through this game now. We're into the last 10 minutes. We've got to use our demand more shout. Wish I'd have been paying closer attention because we're now at 88 minutes played. Throw in here left-hand side, into Ramsey. Morris with the ball. Deep ball across Paulo Eduardo. No problems coming to pick that one up. They've got... I was going to say, they nearly had a man bursting forward on that right-hand side. It's a long ball forward, and Bosnich has done quite well to bring it down. João Pedro with the strike, and it wasn't far away, to be honest. 3 minutes to be added on here. Is there any late drama? Are we going to see a cup set? We're through that time. No, we're not. The referee calls full time. At least we had a fight back. If you want to focus on a positive, at least we had a fight back in the second half. 8 shots, 7 on target, 41% for 10-man Bournemouth. 15 shots, 5 on target, 59% of the ball for us. I'm going to say, despite the result, I'm pleased with the performance. I just want to try and keep morale up as much as possible. In reality, devastating. FC Isle of Man defeat in FA Cup 5th round. That's fine. Okay, well, now we just focus on the league and staying in the division. Youthful FC Isle of Man coming stuck. I've seen that one quite a bit this season. Hiziel, the goal scorer for the opening goal, gets the man of the match award with an 8.3. Post-match press conference, my assistant can do. We get 7.45k after losing the 5th round. Welsh is out of fitness. At least we've got a couple of days. I can rest him during that time. And Wimbledon boss is there to look at Stuart Dorber, who he's trying to snag. So I think the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a transition back to using the 4-4-1-1, getting a little bit more direct, trying to get behind the ball a little bit more. You guys will see the results of that in the next episode. And then also, I think we're going to transition a couple of players out of the side and out of the lineup just to get us back into a relatively good run of form. So we might select the players available based on their last 5 games of fitness and form. Like Wademan's been playing, but Granger's actually had a really good last 5 games. Donkin should have probably been playing. He's had a really good last 5 games. Knowles had a good last 5 games, albeit bogged down by an 8.8 earlier on in the season. Welsh, Smith, I've barely played all season. There's quite a few different players here that might be worthy of an opportunity, given that like Nelson's had a 6.8 in his last 5 appearances, whereas Wright's only had a 6.72. So I think that's what we'll try and do. We'll try and tweak a little bit based on current form, current fitness. We'll play everyone in their preferred roles and we'll alter the shape just to keep the social media and whatever else piping down. As far as our schedule is concerned, we are going to jump forward a little bit. We'll probably play 3 games off screen and see how those changes go against Middlesbrough, Preston and Derby. Derby game is massive because they're down in the relegation spots. We've got Portsmouth who are 18 and Sheffield who are in 6th. We did actually we drew with Sheffield the last time we played them. It was in the episode, so that'll be cool to see what our progression's been like in the return fixture. But I think that's where we'll come up. It'll set us up nicely for a Thursday episode. It'll kind of give us a good scenario for our last 4 games of the league season, and it'll be a good point to leave off. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the continued views. I know there's a million different YouTube content creators and probably thousands of different FM content creators. So the fact that you're sitting down and watching a few minutes of this does mean a tremendous amount to me. If you do want to go the extra mile, you can drop a like on this video. You can also subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all of our future videos as they continue to be released. At the end of this week, we'll probably take a break and do like a 1 season wonder save next week. We're through another 40 episodes. It always seems like a good breaking point to mix things up a little bit as far as content is concerned. If you've got your own suggestions of who you want to see, drop it in the comment section below. I've got a couple up here in my own head, but we'll figure something out as we go. As always though, thank you so much for watching. I've been Sean and I'll see you all again in the mix-up.